Nobody expected the Minnesota Vikings to be in this position so quickly. Their young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is already facing another setback, this time a high ankle sprain that sidelines him for 2 to 4 weeks. For a team that drafted him to be the future, these constant interruptions raise questions fans never thought they would be asking this early. McCarthy already lost his entire rookie season to a torn meniscus, and now, just as his story as a starter was beginning, the road has been thrown off course again. The shocking part is that McCarthy's struggles go beyond injuries. Against Chicago, he had one electric quarter with 2 touchdowns and a rushing score, but for the first 3 quarters he looked lost. Against Atlanta, he threw 2 interceptions, was late on reads, and went down 6 times under pressure. These aren't just bad games, they're missed chances to prove he can manage a loaded roster led by stars like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. The truth is simple. The Vikings don't need McCarthy to be a superstar yet, but they do need him to be steady, and right now he hasn't delivered. But here's where the tension builds. Minnesota is not a rebuilding team with time to waste. This roster has enough talent to compete right now, and Kevin O'Connell has proven he can maximize quarterbacks before. If Sam Darnold thrived in this system, why is McCarthy still stumbling? That question leads directly to the next storyline. With JJ sidelined, what is the immediate quarterback plan, and can Carson Wentz stabilize this season before it slips away? But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Vikings and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 300 likes on this video. The Minnesota Vikings just flipped the script at quarterback, and nobody expected the extra piece they added. Carson Wentz steps in to steady the huddle while J.J. McCarthy heals, Max Brosmer stays ready as the rookie in the room, and Desmond Ridder is signed to the active roster for depth and flexibility. The twist is that J.J. is week to week and not on short-term injured reserve, which keeps the door open for a fast return and forces the staff to build a plan that wins now without closing the long game. Here's what that plan looks like today. Wentz gives Kevin O'Connell a veteran operator who can handle full calls, tempo shifts, and late checks without shrinking the play sheet. Brosmer grows in the background and learns the speed without being thrown into chaos. Ridder brings fresh eyes and recent system experience from another locker room, which can help with tendencies and prep. The message is calm and clear. Protect the ball, run the offense on time, and keep JJ's runway intact for when the ankle is right. But here is the part that might change everything. Minnesota can lean into a ball control identity that rides defense and rhythm throws, while the backfield gets a shakeup. If the offense commits to quick game timing and a physical ground attack, the next roster moves matter even more than the depth chart at quarterback. So who just arrived to reshape the carries, and how will that change the way the Vikings attack the next few weeks? The Minnesota Vikings just brought back Cam Akers, and the timing tells a story. This is a familiar face returning to a backfield that now leans on Jordan Mason's power, while Aaron Jones focuses on getting right. The twist is trust. Akers knows Kevin O'Connell's asks in protection and in the screen game, which means the offense can stay calm on key downs instead of scrambling for answers. Here is how the carries and touches can shake out. Mason sets the tone early with downhill runs that wear out fronts and set up easy throws. Akers handles pass situations, blitz pickup, and outlet catches that keep the chains moving. If Jones is eased back, the pair can still give Minnesota a steady rhythm, with quick timing routes for the quarterback and play action that punishes linebackers who bite on flow. What nobody is talking about is how this reset helps the bigger picture. A balanced ground game and easy completions simplify the reads that have tripped up young passers across the league. That leads to the next question that matters most in Minnesota. What specific growth does J.J. McCarthy need, and how can the staff speed it up once he is back on the field? The Minnesota Vikings know J.J. McCarthy arrived with a winning background, but the league asks for a different toolbox. At Michigan, he operated inside a controlled plan, with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards pounding the run, a sturdy line setting the pocket, and Roman Wilson making key third-down plays. That environment built poise and decision habits, yet it rarely forced him to live snap after snap in pure progression football, where the defense is changing the picture every few seconds. Pro ball raises the bar in quiet ways that decide games. The job is to create answers before the snap, confirm after the snap, and throw on time into tight windows without flinching. That means moving safeties with the eyes, resetting the base when pressure shifts, and matching footwork to route timing so the ball leaves clean. Veterans like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers had years to grow before taking over, while other young starters were thrown in and learned through fire. Every path is different, and Minnesota's task is to speed up JJ's adaptation without losing his calm demeanor. Here is the twist that matters for the next phase. The coaches can shrink the mental load while sharpening the details that translate fast, like clear protection calls, rhythm throws off play action, and defined reads that build confidence. The question becomes simple and urgent. What specific habits will turn that raw talent into steady production, and how does that checklist look for the very next time he is under center? The Minnesota Vikings need a clear step forward from JJ McCarthy, and it starts with the first beat of every snap. Build the plan at the line, find the nickel, feel the safety tilt, then trust the first window with firm feet. The clock is the secret here. Ball up, ball out, no hesitation. When timing rules the rep, the throw arrives before the rush can ruin it, and the entire offense breathes. Now comes the turning point. Win the routine plays that keep drives alive. Hit the quick stick, the speed out, the slant on rhythm. Climb the pocket instead of drifting. Slide when the edge squeezes, and take the free yards to the back before trouble grows. On early downs, mix fast throws with play action and keepers to move the launch point. In the money areas like third down and the red zone, choose the clean answer and protect the football. That steady drumbeat changes the game more than any one deep shot. Here is the hook for what comes next. These habits pop when the cast around the quarterback does its job. Wideouts must separate early, the tight end has to own the soft spots, the backs need to sort blitz, and the line must keep the pocket firm. If that support holds, JJ's reset can stick. So who lifts him most, and how do the big men and pass catchers shape the next month for Minnesota? The Minnesota Vikings have firepower that can tilt games fast, and it starts with spacing. Justin Jefferson pulls coverage the moment he aligns, which opens clean lanes for Jordan Addison to attack leverage and for TJ Hawkinson to own the soft middle. Adam Thielen gives the quarterback a steady answer on timing routes and third downs. When these four touch the ball in rhythm, the offense looks organized, confident, and hard to predict, and that is the spark this moment demands. Up front is where the tone gets set. Christian Darrisaw's return matters because blindside security changes the way a passer steps into throws. Inside, Donovan Jackson brings juice, Ryan Kelly keeps calls clean, and Will Freeze anchors the right guard spot, while Brian O'Neill locks the edge. That group controls the depth of the pocket, which decides if the ball leaves on time or dies in traffic. Chip help, slide direction, and precise landmarks are the quiet details that turn pressures into non-events and keep the read clear. Here is the tension that leads us forward. If spacing holds and the pocket stays firm, the offense can play on schedule and force opponents into longer fields. That is exactly where Minnesota's identity tightens. Brian Flores has a defense built to win the hidden yards and flip momentum. So the next question becomes simple. Can that unit carry the load while the offense settles? And which playmakers on defense will swing the next 2 weeks? The Minnesota Vikings defense has quickly become the heartbeat of the season under Brian Flores, keeping games tight while the offense regroups. With Jonathan Greenard bringing pressure off the edge, Ivan Pace Jr. attacking gaps, and Andrew Van Ginkel making impact plays, this front has the tools to disrupt any protection. The secondary adds strength with Byron Murphy Jr. in coverage, Harrison Smith and Josh Metellus controlling the middle, and Isaiah Rodgers tracking deep routes. When pressure and coverage connect, turnovers follow and field position flips in Minnesota's favor. The real test now is whether this unit can keep carrying the load through a tough stretch of varied offenses while JJ McCarthy works his way back. So here's where you come in. Do you believe JJ McCarthy will turn the corner once he's back, or will this ankle setback slow his development longer than expected? Should the Vikings trust Carson Wentz to manage this run, or push Max Brosmer into live reps if things stumble? And how confident are you that Brian Flores' defense can keep carrying the load until the offense clicks? Drop your thoughts below, hit subscribe to stay locked in with every update, and join the conversation as this season unfolds.